Okay, this is Eric Glenwood, and I'm back with you with more self-elevated EDF/spring-powered universal exoskeleton. And I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. And you're like, is that the same? Nope, it's not the. What's going on there? Phew. Long story short, I start building a PVC exoskeleton, trying to see if I could do an exoskeleton in all plastic, place it with plastic. As I was building the exoskeleton, I was basically trying to get an exoskeleton that was light as possible, and basically designed the exoskeleton to basically using only the things that I needed for to hold it to me and to give power and structure and be self-elevated. Basically, I wanted an exoskeleton that was elevated and that could hold anything I want. Right now, mind you, I got batteries on the back and I got EDFs on the thighs and on the calves. You can remove the battery pack, the EDFs, and off the legs, and you basically have an exoskeleton that you can basically support anything. I mean, you can put different battery pack. I even got a battery chest piece built in. Before, I had the batteries right there, basically mounted to the drill style batteries, one on each side of the back, taped around there on the bracket. I removed them and literally made a chest piece out of them. And I also made a chest piece out of the PVC with a good shape. I'm finna show you in a minute. Right now, I'm just doing a quick review. But in general, you can remove that roll bar right there. Well, actually, I might just leave the roll bar. But anyway, you can remove the backpack and EDFs. And then if you want to remove the roll bar right there to protect the battery, you can. And you can put whatever custom back piece you want. You can do a different configuration to where it's as smooth as possible. You can put a backpack on the back. You can do the batteries like I did, do a custom battery pack. Or in general, you can just do the whole backside as a plate with the framework connected to it and Kevlar, AR-500 steel, whatever. I mean, I know I could do it. It's not even a big issue for me. I just force getting materials. And then another thing is I could probably go save up money, get a $500 plate, and it will probably sit here because I wouldn't dare drill it or touch it till I know for sure that that's what I was going to use. I might go get a $600 roll of Kevlar, save up money, could do it. I mean, I done saved up money for, in the past, way more better stuff than that. But in general, I don't necessarily want to mess with the Kevlar yet because it's expensive. And the way when you think about Kevlar and fiberglass, I think about smooth, uniform, painted, nice sculptured shapes. And I'm still developing this exoskeleton. So that's another reason why I ventured into composites, because composites is basically marking that you have a finished product. It's a million things I can do on a technical standpoint for its power outers and working on getting better motor to battery configuration, more power out of the motors, more compactability, better placements on batteries, control systems, in general elevating the suit itself and still gaining mobility. I mean, that's almost like 10 things that you can do for the exoskeleton, and it has to be working at top notch, the best you can as possible. And that's what I'm trying to do before you even get to trying to fiberglass or put nice panels and things of that nature. I mean, this is a whole other realm where this exoskeleton, I was just worried about getting the exoskeleton mapped out and for its mobility and just make sure it stops bullets. This one here, I got to get it mapped out, mobility, taking the factor that I might want to change the plastic piece out to Kevlar piece. That's bulletproof. I got to worry about battery pack. I got to worry about, is the battery big enough? Is it going to gain enough power? Am I charging it right? Am I discharging it right? Am I using big enough gauge wires? Am I using stronger switch so the switches won't burn up? Is the wire thick enough so it won't burn up? Is the motors strong enough to do the job I'm doing? Are they too strong, or are they going to drain the battery too fast? And that goes back out to I have a new battery, a bit better battery. And that goes back to, I mean, it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Once you get a strong enough motor, you got to go to the battery, make sure your battery is not being drained too fast and discharging properly. Even if your battery ain't draining too fast and it's running the motors fast enough, like I said, you still got to worry about fuses being strong enough or not too strong, because you don't want a fuse that's too strong, because you want it actually to break before your bigger, more expensive stuff break. I mean, 30-cent fuse ain't nothing, but a $300 motor or a $300 battery, that's a whole nother story. Okay, then switches, once you turn it on and off, you got to have a strong enough amp switch. With switches, the bigger, stronger switch you can get on there and not cumbersome is the better. It's going to connect the circuit, and the bigger switch is going to have less chance of overheating. And as far as when you put a switch that carries too much amperage, or for it to handle way more amperage than you run, you just got a really ass strong switch. It's not going to hurt the product itself. But when you got a fuse that's too damn strong, your apparatus burns out before the fuse burns out. Like I said, a battery that's too weak, you'll burn it up or overheat the system. A motor that's too strong will drain the battery too much. A motor that's too weak not going to give you the power that you want, and you probably got a bigger battery than system. But this system is pretty balanced. And another cool thing about it, I'm just running the bigger EDFs on the legs that I just built, and then one small EDF on each leg. Now, mind you, the 4 batteries, the 2 on the top there, and the 2 on the chest piece, is what was running those bigger motors anyway. It's 4 of those and 4 batteries. For me to add one of those little EDFs off each leg to that system with those 4 batteries really wouldn't drain the system at all, because they're so small. Now, take in mind, that being said, that bigger battery under there, that's what I was running for the last year. I've been running those 10 EDFs on. That motor run 10 of the EDF motors that I have on a small leg. That sucker will run by itself all 4 of those bigger EDFs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire all of my drill batteries in together to where they're pushing out one continuous current and balanced together after they're charged. And that's what's going to operate my suit. I'm going to run them all together. Since I'm running the other 2 EDFs, I don't want to run one on a battery, another on a battery, another on a battery, another on a battery, and then go get one of the motors off the EDF and spice it into one of those bigger motors, spice it into another bigger motor on this side. 2 of those batteries out of the 4 are going to be draining faster than the other 2. But if I link all 4 of them together now, I don't care if I just turn one of the motors on, it's going to be drawn from all 4. If I turn 3, it's going to be drawn from all 4 batteries. If I turn 4 motors, all 4 batteries, 5, and etc. It's going to basically be drawn, whatever I hook up to it, drawn from all 4 batteries. So that's why I'm actually wiring them up like that. But they still be separated from each other. And then what I want to do is give each individual battery, its own fuse. 10 amps should do. And that way, it'll pop. If I have any problems, like I was worried about the battery, say one battery is giving me a problem, it'll pop the fuse and then separate from the other batteries and let them still continue to do their job. But in the event that all 4 of those batteries go dead, then I can use that bigger battery that I've been using for a backup battery. So basically that's my backup battery, and to run any other badass power volts, things that can handle 40-volt lithium. There's not very many things can handle 40-volt lithium. I mean, there's some things out there can handle 40-volt lithium, but I mean, when you're talking about exoskeleton and small things, there's not very many things that can handle. A lot of them you gotta build it to specs if you're gonna looking at smaller applications, or you just get lucky. Like the only reason those EDF motors, the smaller ones that I've been running in the past, and the ones having the calf muscles, is because they come out of hair dryer and they was used to run off 120 volts. AC. I converted them into DC, and now they're running off of 40 volts, which is like a third of what they usually for its voltage they had running through them. That's why those smaller motors are still compatible with those lithium batteries. But normally, a motor, electrical motor that size, when it comes to DC, I don't care if it's brushed or brushless, normally wouldn't be compatible with a 40-volt battery. I mean, a motor that size, the higher the battery is probably it's about 18, 21 volts. It's the hottest a battery would be for something that size. Now, like I said, I did the custom chest piece right here. The reason why I opted to put the springs in it because they actually keeping it up off me a little bit and help pushing it up. And then also when I go to put my head in there, I can move it out the way, slide my head in there, and when it comes back over, the spring's perfectly gonna contour. Instead of me having like some of the stuff that I've been doing, like even on my armor, you could tell how I did the curl overs on the shoulders. They're fixed. They're when I shift my body weight and stuff, I push up on the whole exoskeleton before it's shifting out of my way. With the new spring overs, they shift out of my way. And another reason, like, why you put it in all plastic, dude? It's because, like I said, I can make it lighter. You can always get cylinder, like carbon fiber. They have that stuff. You just got to go to the right stuff and get the right catalog. You can get carbon fiber actually in a cylinder that's the same dimension. And even if it is a little dimension, you got so many different springs out there in different lengths. You can go catalogs. It's certain companies that just make nothing but springs. I'm sure they got catalogs with over 1,000 different, forget that, 5,000 different springs. I mean, there's a lot of different springs out there that you can use. So you can play with that a little bit, and you can go with, like I said, you can buy carbon fiber tubes and run the whole carbon fiber tube. Another reason why I went with the round tubes over square tube, because round tube arches take weight better than flat surfaces. And also it just looks more uniform with the round tubing. I like it. It's a lot more cleaner look than the square tubing. And another reason why I did tubing, basically from head to toe, taking mine to springs, is because I can literally start from the toe of this exoskeleton right here, and I can wire inside the exoskeleton all the way up through the hips, all the way through the back piece, all the way up. Stop at any battery I want. Come on, even run wires all the way through the shoulder overs, the new spring shoulder overs that I did, and run it through this tube structure. Have a hole, like say that hole right there. Bring the wire out and bring it directly into the battery. Instead of having a wire draped over my arm, or wires sticking all out here, or wires running from the EDFs trying to come up to meet the batteries, meet the switch hanging over. I'm basically like they do hot rod motorcycle, the custom motorcycles. Instead of having all the brake lines and all the signal light wires all bolted to the side of frames hanging out, just like you got that bike, how you got, I mean, the stuff running outside. If there was one of them custom motorcycles, that cable tubing will be running in the actual frame. And that's what I did this one like they do the custom motorcycles. I wanted to hide all that wire in the frame so you won't have no nasty, ugly wires. And I like clean, uniform look. I do mostly mechanic work for what I learned a trade as a kid. I mean, I didn't go to school for it, but I mean, literally, I'm really, really good at it. I mean, I can like take any motor and transmission and put it in literally any car. I could take a motor, transmission, wheel,